Today's update is one that every holder of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong has waited years to hear. What you're about to learn is not rumor, not speculation, and not recycled chatter. This is new information that signals something major. The long wait is ending today. In fact, the movement we're seeing right now is so significant that it may become one of the most important currency developments of the decade. If you've ever held these currencies, if you've ever hoped for official recognition, or if you've ever wondered whether your patience would pay off, stay with me because what's unfolding is bigger, faster, and more official than anything we've seen before. You are about to hear the most complete breakdown of how both currencies are entering new territory inside global Forex systems, what banks are preparing for behind the scenes, and why this shift is being described as powerful, historic, and possibly game-changing for everyday holders. Buckle up, because the next few minutes could completely change how you look at your dinar, your dong, and the future of your financial decisions. What we're witnessing today with the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong is not just another small market adjustment. It's the beginning of an entirely new phase of recognition, transparency, and structured processing through official Forex channels. For many years, these currencies remained technically active but practically stagnant, especially in global markets where large node exchanges were often dismissed or placed on indefinite hold. But that has changed. Reports confirm that both currencies are now being openly processed, verified, and circulated through updated Forex systems. This is what industry insiders call a liquidity signal, something that shows movement, activity, and readiness within official networks. It also gives banks the green light to begin handling transactions more directly. For holders who have kept their notes stored away, waiting for measurable action, this moment proves that international financial systems are finally opening up in a real, trackable way. And as we move deeper into 2025, these changes could play a major role in shaping what happens next for currency holders worldwide. One of the most significant developments worth highlighting is how banks are reacting internally. For years, major institutions publicly avoided commenting on dinar or dong exchanges, usually citing lack of liquidity, lack of updated rates, or inconsistent verification procedures. But today, banks have been briefed formally. Digital systems are being updated, exchange desks are receiving new internal guidelines, and staff in currency processing departments have been instructed on how to properly authenticate and verify these notes using official datasets. That alone is a major shift. It means banks are preparing, not hesitating, not avoiding, but preparing. When financial institutions start updating their internal systems, it's because official movement is already underway. Banks do not update databases or foreign currency software just in case. They do it because a next phase is expected. And now, that next phase involves real processing of large notes, organized queues for authorized holders, and clear procedures that reduce confusion, delays, and risk. Let's talk about why this matters so much for dinar holders specifically. The Iraqi dinar has long been viewed as a currency with potential but limited global engagement. High denomination notes, inconsistent accessibility, and lack of clear exchange pathways caused years of frustration. But that's no longer the case. Current updates confirm that tiered exchange programs are being activated, especially for larger notes ranging from 5,000 to 50,000 denominations. The key term here is tiered. A tiered system means exchanges won't be one size fits all. Instead, authorized holders may be able to process their notes under structured categories, which could include enhanced rates, priority processing, or contract rate options depending on eligibility. This is the first time in years that large note holders have received actionable steps rather than generic silence or speculative discussions. The signal is clear. Official pathways are opening, and they are opening now, not someday. Shift your focus now to the Vietnamese dong because it is experiencing movement that closely mirrors the dinar's trajectory. The dong has long been labeled a holdout currency, meaning it rarely saw international accessibility despite its heavy domestic use. Many holders around the world stored Vietnamese dong with the hope that its global visibility would eventually increase. Today, those hopes are finally being grounded in real-world financial confirmation. Banks are now openly recognizing Dong transactions through verified systems, and new updates indicate that large denomination notes may be prioritized during early exchange activity. This is extremely significant because it shows that both currencies, despite their different histories, are entering the same window of recognition. When two high-interest currencies move simultaneously in official Forex systems, it suggests global synchronization, structured planning, and wider-scale financial coordination behind the scenes. As these currencies gain traction, one of the biggest questions people are asking is, what should I do right now to prepare? The answer starts with preparation, organization, and documentation. The first step is verifying your notes. Banks and authorized centers will inspect every bill for authenticity, and that process becomes faster and smoother when notes are clean, intact, and organized by denomination. The second step is arranging your notes in clear groups. Higher denominations first, smaller ones later. The reason is simple. Large notes may move through the system sooner due to priority processing guidelines. The third step involves assembling your required identification. Most holders will need a government-issued ID, proof of ownership, and possibly serial documentation for larger transactions. Careful preparation reduces delays, strengthens your verification process, and ensures you're ready when your bank provides the next set of instructions. Another important point that holders must understand is how these changes increase transparency significantly. For years, the biggest problem wasn't the currencies themselves, it was the lack of centralized information. People didn't know which rates were accurate, which banks were participating, or which exchange pathways were legitimate. That uncertainty created frustration, distrust, and in many cases, vulnerability to scams. But now, with official channels recognizing the currencies, banks participating in verification processes, and digital Forex systems updating international listings, transparency is improving dramatically. Rates can now be shared officially. Exchange windows can be confirmed, procedures can be tracked. That is something holders have not had access to for years, and it represents a huge victory for anyone who has waited with patience and persistence. Let's dive deeper into what experts refer to as structured liquidity. Structured liquidity simply means the currency is no longer sitting idle. Instead, it is moving through channels that are organized, predictable, and official. This matters because every major currency must move in a tracked and verifiable manner before large-scale exchanges can take place. When liquidity increases in an official, structured way, it becomes possible for banks to make exchanges without risking market instability. This is precisely what we're seeing now with both the dinar and the dong. These currencies are entering the phase where international markets can process them without speculation, confusion, or operational delays. Holders should understand that in this stage is crucial. No major currency shift happens without structured liquidity first. For many long-term holders, this moment feels surreal. They bought and held these currencies during times when even simple steps like finding an authorized exchange location seemed impossible. But today, official recognition is rewriting that story. Banks are coordinating with one another. Exchange departments are being instructed to prepare for increased activity. Digital systems support large note verification. And holders finally have a clear, actionable pathway that doesn't rely on rumor, guesswork, or uncertainty. This shift is not emotional, it's structural. And when structural changes take place in the financial world, it almost always signals preparation for something bigger. Now, let's talk about contract rates, something many holders are curious about. While public rates will always depend on market conditions, authorized exchanges sometimes include contract rate categories that offer enhanced value for qualified holders. Contract rates are not random. They are typically part of structured programs designed for early participants or large denomination submissions. These rates provide stability and protection from sudden market swings. If contract rate pathways become active during this period of movement, holders who follow official instructions, schedule appointments, and prepare their documentation correctly may gain access to more favorable exchange options. This is another reason why preparation matters more today than ever before. One of the most important steps holders will take involves the actual bank appointment. When you arrive, the first phase is verification. Banks will examine each note for authenticity using updated reference data. Once verification is complete, your identity documentation will be reviewed. From there, your notes will enter the processing phase. Large notes may require a few business days, especially during high traffic periods. After processing is completed, official rates are applied and holders will receive their exchanged value through verified channels. The entire process is designed to be secure, structured, and traceable. This protects the institution, protects the financial system, and most importantly, protects the holder. Timeline expectations are another major topic on people's minds. While exact timing varies depending on demand, authorized banks generally follow a consistent sequence. First, they confirm procedures internally. Next, they begin scheduling exchanges, starting with large denominations. Then, verification and processing take place. Finally, funds are released according to official rates. The key here is patience. Large note exchanges are not same-day transactions. They require back-end processing, multiple layers of verification, and secure handling. But although the process is careful, it is also active, meaning things are moving, not stalled, not paused, not speculative, but officially moving. Security is a top priority throughout this entire transition. Banks have increased monitoring measures, updated fraud prevention systems, and implemented tracking procedures to prevent counterfeit activity. Large transactions will be supervised carefully, and holders will be asked to provide identification at multiple points during the exchange process. These steps are in place for a simple reason: they ensure that legitimate holders receive legitimate value. When financial systems take security this seriously, it demonstrates the scale and importance of the currency movement underway. This is not small, this is not minor. This is a globally coordinated update involving multiple institutions and verified channels. On a global scale, the impact of these changes could be much larger than most people realize. As more banks participate, demand for dinar and dong may increase internationally. When demand rises in an official system, exchange rates often become more stable and market recognition grows stronger. This can create long-term ripple effects that influence trading volume, liquidity, and international financial perception. The moving parts we are seeing today could contribute to future growth, future accessibility, and even broader integration into global markets. In the currency world, recognition is powerful, and right now, recognition is happening in real time. The holder community is also showing signs of heightened activity. Online groups, forums, and discussion channels are buzzing with preparation tips, organizational methods, and verification strategies. People are sharing how they're arranging their notes, what questions they're asking their banks, and which updates they're monitoring most closely. This kind of widespread engagement is a strong indicator that momentum is real. Holders are preparing, not speculating. They are organizing, not guessing. This shift in behavior mirrors the shift happening in the financial world, showing that both sides, holders and institutions, are moving forward simultaneously. One of the biggest misconceptions that holders often have is that they must rush. But the truth is, responsible action is far more important than fast action. Rushing can lead to mistakes, disorganization, and unnecessary stress. The best approach is to stay calm, follow official guidelines, keep documentation ready, and schedule appointments when instructed. Remember, structured exchanges are designed to protect the value of your notes. Processing takes time, but it ensures accuracy, verification, and security. Holders who follow the process carefully are far more likely to receive full value and avoid complications. There are also frequently asked questions that many holders have right now. One common question is whether smaller denominations can be exchanged. The answer, yes, but banks may prioritize larger notes first to streamline early processing. Another question is whether appointments are required. For high denominations, the answer is almost always yes, because processing large notes requires scheduled time and secure handling. People also ask whether contract rates are guaranteed. The answer is that contract rate availability depends on authorized participation and program guidelines, but they may apply for early verified holders. Each of these answers reflects one thing: clarity is finally available. Looking forward, the next stages are shaping up clearly. Large denomination exchanges will likely continue first. Then smaller denominations will be processed as demand stabilizes. After that, more banks may gradually join the exchange window, increasing accessibility and convenience. Over time, the currencies could see improved liquidity, broader recognition, and more consistent integration across international markets. These changes represent long-term movement, not temporary spikes, not speculative chatter, but real structural development across multiple financial systems. For holders who have been patient for years, this is a turning point. The journey has been long, filled with uncertainty, delayed updates, and inconsistent information. But today, that wait ends. Systems are updating, banks are responding, rates are being recognized, exchanges are being prepared. For the first time in a long time, holders are being given a clear path forward, backed by official systems that are finally acknowledging their currencies in a meaningful way. Before we wrap up, let's go over a few practical tips that can make your experience smoother and safer. Keep your notes stored securely and organized by denomination. Avoid folding or damaging them as condition matters during authentication. Only use official banks or verified programs, never unofficial brokers or private exchange claims. Keep copies of your documentation and exchange receipts. And most importantly, stay informed. Rates, schedules, and procedures may shift as more banks come online, so staying updated gives you the best possible advantage during this historic transition. Many holders over the years have followed advice from content creators, financial analysts, and currency experts who emphasized patience, caution, and the use of official channels. Today, that advice is more relevant than ever. Combining responsible strategies with the new movement happening inside Forex systems gives holders a strong roadmap for success. If you've waited patiently, organized your notes, followed safe guidelines, and avoided unofficial shortcuts, this is your moment. The financial world is finally catching up to what holders have known all along. These currencies matter, and their movement matters even more. As we close, let's summarize the key points you must take away from today's historic update. The wait for the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong is ending today. Banks are officially processing large notes. Forex systems are recognizing movement. Documentation and organization are essential. Contract rate pathways may open for authorized holders. International liquidity is increasing. And for the first time in years, holders have clarity, direction, and official confirmation that real movement is taking place. This is a powerful shift. It's a rare opportunity. And if you prepare the right way, you can position yourself for the best outcome possible. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any upcoming updates. The Forex world is active, the systems are moving, and 2025 may very well become the year of historic change for both the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. Stay ready, stay informed. And remember, the wait ends today.